Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Nikki Zick, and today I'm doing part 3 in my 4-part series of abstract watercolor florals done in mixed media using ultrafine marker and then watercolor technique, diffusing on top of the marker and splatter paint. So this one is a chrysanthemum, and I'm going to get started and show you how I did this artwork. I'll prop it up with my Relax and Evil Eye Rock. I already sketched it out where I want my flower heads and leaves to be. So that way when I draw with the permanent marker, I know where to place my flowers. So the first flower I'm going to do in a 5-petal formation and build around with arc curves to build the flower. So we'll start in the center with the circle and do 5 petals around the circle. Okay, then after the 5 circles, then we're going to do arches to connect each circle. And then we're going to keep building around with circles, half circles, going around and around to form this flower. So as you can see, it's starting to fill in nicely. And I'm just going around the flower, connecting each arch. As you go around, you could cheat a little if you need to fill in a little bit more. Right now here I'm good on the right side, so I'm going to concentrate more on the left, adding some more petals, filling your circle with all the petals. Let's see, a few more on the left, and that should be good. On the right, a few. And that's our first flower. Now the second 2 flowers I'm doing in a spiral technique, but I'm doing it as the shape of a petal. So we're starting in the center and we're going to spiral around, but doing it in a scallop. So we'll start in the center and I'm going to scallop around. And then I'm going to follow around that line and do more scallops. And keep going around until you fill the circle that you did in pencil. So I'm almost done. I have 1 more row, I think. Okay, that's our second flower. Now our third flower, we're going to be doing the same technique as the second and do the circle and the scallop around. I did the 2 different techniques of flowers because I wanted to have the variety and the uniqueness of the artwork to be different. And make sure you go slow so that your marker leaves a mark on the paper. I'm using a cold press paper, so it's got some texture, so drawing on it is a slight challenge. Okay, and there's our third flower. Now we're going to start with the stems and leaves. We'll go down once with the curve, follow that line down. Then we'll connect our flower heads to our main stem with 2 lines on each. Then we'll do the leaves on the bottom, their large leaf. Then we'll do a smaller leaf inside, and then do a center line vein and little dash horizontal lines going diagonally on the leaf. Then we'll do the leaf on the right, Same thing, this is a larger leaf, and it has a smaller leaf inside. Do the vein down the center, and the diagonal veins on the inside leaf. Next, we'll do the leaf on the left top. This is connected to the flower head, and we'll do the same thing, an outer leaf, and then a center leaf inside, and go with the diagonal. The last leaf is on the right, on the top of the flower head, and we'll do one leaf with the inner leaf and draw diagonal lines. That's it for our inking line, and now we're going to take the eraser and just remove any pencil lines that we may have missed, because it'll show through on the watercolor, because watercolor is transparent. We'll remove that. I have a clean piece of paper to work on. Okay, so now this is going to be a wet on wet technique, and I'm going to be working on all three flowers one by one at the same time. So we're going to start. I'm using 3 shades of pink, a pale pink, my favorite magenta, and then a deeper red violet. So I'm getting my paints ready for a nice medium consistency, and they're ready to go. So we're going to start with the pale pink, do it in the center of the top flower. We'll do it on the left side of the left flower, and then the center again on the right. Then we'll add the magenta, going around the pink on the top, and the colors should blend nicely because it's wet on wet. You can add some water if you want to get it going a little more, but you really shouldn't need to. And then we'll get the red violet. Let it bleed into the hot pink magenta. And this goes around the edge. You use a wash of water, clean water, and blend. Okay. Now that's for our flower heads. Now for the stem and leaves of our flowers, and that go with our flowers, we're going to use a bright green and go down the center stem, and then down each stem for the second and third flowers. And then we're going to paint the leaves in green. I'm using a bright Kelly green. And fill in each flower leaf. Then I'm going to paint a leaf going in the background. One here. One getting attached to the flower on the left. One on the top flower. And then one on the bottom right flower. Next we're going to add a very nice teal green, and we're going to wash it in the background of our flowers. Add some water and blend it out. I'm listening to some nice classical music today while I paint, and it just puts me in a creative mood. And I'm blending this teal blue in the background here and there. And using a wiggle motion on your paintbrush, just diffuse the color in the background. A little on the left, a little more paint. Okay, our painting is completed so far, but now we have to let it dry several minutes, and then I can add the splatter paint final touch. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and our artwork is dry, and it's time to add the splatter paint, which is my favorite part of the artwork. So I'm getting my dark red violet ready, and I'm having a loose consistency, and I'm going to do some droplets of paint, tapping my brush and keeping it on top of the artwork. I have a splatter paper that I use lately because my desk has always got splatter paint all over it. So that's the red violet, and then I'm going to use some of the green, and make sure you have not too much on your brush, but enough to splatter. And then we'll add some green in the background, primarily some on the flowers, but that's pretty much it. If there's a little too much on your flower, you can remove it with the wet brush. Just blend it away. But for the most part, some of the splatter on the flowers looks very nicely. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It'll help me out a lot. And if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. And this is the way the final artwork looks with the line art and watercolor paint. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.